Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line whose equation is y equals 3 over 5x minus 2 and that passes through the point 3, negative 6. Okay, so first we want to highlight this word perpendicular. And remember that perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So I'm going to highlight the original line slope and think about opposite reciprocals. So the opposite reciprocal slope of positive 3 over 5 is going to be negative 5 over 3. So the opposite part comes from the sign being switched, and the reciprocal part comes from the fractions being flipped. Okay, so I know that my new line is going to have a slope that is negative 5 over 3. Next, I want to focus on the second part here that says that it passes through the point 3, negative 6. So remember that the equation of a line is equal to y equals mx plus b. Okay, well, if I already know that my slope is going to be negative 5 over 3, I'm just going to plug it in there. What is another part that we know? Well, we know that it passes through this point here. So can't we plug in the 3 and the negative 6? We sure can. So let's plug in the x as 3, and let's plug in the y as negative 6. Okay, and now we're just solving for b, our y-intercept. So let's go ahead and solve for b. Okay, here, I know that I can put a 1 underneath here. And I'm going to have negative 6 is equal to, well, negative 5 times 3 is really negative 15. And 3 times 1 is 3. So I can have negative 15 over 3, or I can simplify it. You could have also crossed out the 3 if you've recognized the pattern there, and you would have gotten negative 5. I'm going to just kind of simplify this over here and write negative 5. Because again, negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. And I'm going to solve for b by using inverse operations. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides so I can get rid of the 5 that's around b. And these are going to cross out. And I'm left with b equals negative 1. So I have my slope here, our m. And I also have our y-intercept here. And so let's put it all together. What is the equation of this line going to be that is perpendicular to this line? Well, we're going to have y equals, our m was negative 5 over 3. I'm going to leave the x, and I'm going to include our y-intercept. So this is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this line that was given. Our second question here is, what is an equation of a line that passes through the point 4, 5 and is parallel to the line whose equation is y equals 2 over 3x minus 4? Well, in this case, we want to highlight the word parallel. And remember that parallel lines have the same slope. So if our slope here in the original equation is 2/3, guess what's going to happen in a line that is parallel to this line? It's also going to have a slope that is 2/3. All right, so here it's not so obvious because we have some equations where we don't see y equals to something. So we're going to make that happen. We're actually going to rewrite all of these so that we're going to have y equals to mx plus b. Remember that that was a general format of an equation of a line. Okay, so here we're going to just look at option number 1, and we're going to work our way through all the options. We're just going to subtract 3x on both sides. So we're left with 2y equals negative 3x plus 11. And we're going to divide everything by 2. And so option 1 shows us that we have y equals negative 3/2x plus 11/2. Well, is the slope here, negative 3/2, the same as 2/3? I don't think so. So 1 is not the correct answer. And you can kind of see that 2 is also not going to be the answer because it is also in the same format here where we have 2y plus 3x, right? So we know that we're going to subtract 3x on both sides. The only thing that's going to be different is the y-intercept here, but our slope is still going to be negative 2/3, right? So 2 is also not the answer. Now, let's show our work for option 3. So option 3 here, we have 3y minus 2x is equal to 2. Now I can add 2x on both sides. These will cross out. I'm left with 3y is equal to 2x plus 2. And I'm going to divide all terms by 3. So we really have y equals 2/3x plus 2/3. Okay, here we're going to just now look at our slope. Since 2/3 is the same as 2/3, we know that 3 can potentially be the answer. We want to really make sure that we're keeping in mind all of our given pieces of information. We also know that it passes through the point 4, 5. So I am going to actually plug in the x as 4, and I'm going to plug in the y as 5, and we're going to try to see if the left side of our equation is going to be equal to the right side of our equation when we plug in these values. Okay, well, on the left side we have 5. On the right side, we can really put a 1 underneath. 2 times 4 is 8. And 3 times 1 is 3. So I have 8/3 plus 2/3. And I end up getting 5 is equal to 10/3. And I don't think this equation is balanced. So option 3 is also not going to be the equation of a line that's parallel to the original line. So I'm also going to cross this one out. And so the correct answer must be 4. But as always, we want to make sure by showing our work. So we can go ahead and prove that it's answer choice 4. I'm going to rewrite answer choice 4 right here. And we're going to solve for y. So I'm going to add 2x on both sides. So that the 2x is going to cross out on the left side. Now we have 3y is equal to 2x plus 7. And I'm going to divide all terms by 3. Now we have that y is equal to 2/3 x plus 7 over 3. And just like what we did in option number 3, we're going to plug in the points 4, 5. So the y term is 5, and we have x as 4. And now we're going to see if this equation is going to be balanced. Now on the left side we have 5, and on the right side, again we can put that invisible 1 underneath the 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. And we'll add 7/3. Let's bring it over here. Well, on the left side I still have 5. Right here. On the right side I have 8 plus 7, which is 15. And 15 over 3 is, in fact, 5. So 5 is equal to 5. And that is how we're going to prove that's answer choice 4.